Okay, so I'm back, everybody. My first attempt was thwarted because my dog heard something outside and started barking. She is a barker when she hears something. So she heard my neighbor. So I have a little bag of treats here just in case she starts barking again. So I'm going to try again to start talking about this series of paintings. 3 paintings I've got here, and I want to share. I really feel like the picture does not really express how much is going on with these paintings. And I hope to give some artists some ideas and some people truly how much is going on with these. And also, I kind of find that sometimes you have an old canvas and you think, oh, that thing's dead, that's done. And I feel like, no, that thing is more interesting. Pick up that old canvas because that is just primed and ready to go. It's actually easier to work on an old canvas than a blank canvas, I find, because it's already got something happening on it. It's already activated. So this was an older canvas, and I just started building layers. So I have here underneath, I'm going to start just telling you what I've got. So underneath, I have some vintage paper that I had purchased, some old magazines from a antique shop. They were a 1950s magazine. I have this is actually literally from something that was shipped to me, and it was just kind of interesting. It was like literally a piece of bubble wrap or something, and I thought it was interesting, so that's on there. I've got a piece of burlap on here, and burlap is really interesting when you paint it. More vintage paper. I've got more vintage paper on here. I've got some ink pencil, that's the blue. And I like the way actually that it has blurred a bit. Ink pencil is interesting if you add a little bit of water to it, or if you put a bit of gel medium on it and you want it to smear a little bit, it's kind of interesting. So this originally was a bird painting, and I kind of was over my bird thing. So there is a former bird under here, and a lot of interesting things. I've got rice paper, I believe, under here somewhere as well. There's some rice paper under here, but all of it, like none of it is lost, right? There's no such thing as, oh, I've ruined it. In an acrylic painting and abstract painting, you haven't ruined it. There is no ruining a painting. You're just building and building interesting things. And if you don't like what you've done, you can either darken or lighten the painting. So I had some things under here, and I either evolved as an artist and it just wasn't my style anymore, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So I've actually got some letters under here, I believe, that I've painted. I've attached them with gel medium and I've painted. I have to look and see what's under here. Oh, I might have some. Oh, there's some gold. There's a bit of gold marker at the bottom. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of interesting details with this painting, which I love. And I've got sort of some scratching. I love scratching, scratching things. And sometimes the imperfections are what makes it interesting. So I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll go on to the next one here. And this is, I'll just try, actually my easel's a bit off kilter there. This is called Heartstrings. This is also up in my shop. And I love how this painting turned out, actually, because it's got so many different elements. This is actually a piece of rice paper, and I've put a bit of paint on top. It was red, and then some paint has gone on top here. This is not normal thread, but it is actually embroidery thread. And I think I'm going to use a bit more embroidery thread. Actually, I went back to this painting. I thought, wow, this actually looks really, really interesting. I've put it on with gel medium. And if you look at it, it just looks so fascinating. I mean, you just want to reach out and touch it. And I think it looks great. It's kind of a Payne's gray color. And it really works with this particular painting. It looks interesting. So I also have, I can see lines I've put on here underneath with ink pencil. They're the Derwent. I hope I'm saying that right. I have a whole, you tend to buy them in the packs, right? So I have a whole pack of Derwent ink pencils. And I've got an oil pencil here. This polka dot actually is from some sort of beauty product that my sister-in-law gave me. And I thought it was such a cool piece of paper that I saved it. So sometimes I get something interesting, I will save it. And there's nothing saying you can't put it in a piece of art. So you just have to make sure for thicker things, I think I have a bit of a technique where I put a lot of gel medium and I wet the product. So I wet that piece of paper and I crumpled it a lot to make sure it was really going to stick. So I have old paper. I think I have some vintage paper. This is actually a tag from a piece of clothing. I think like a designer piece of clothing that my son had purchased. And it just looks really interesting here, and I left the tag on. And my heart is done with a very big Posca marker that is the red. And actually it's kind of become one of my favorite Posca markers. And I'm going to show you, I hope you can see at the bottom these little lines that are done in gold. And I have to say, I really love this gold marker. I found it, I think, eventually at Wallach's in Ottawa. It's the Pen Touch Gold 2.0. It's quick dry, it's permanent. This thing is amazing. I actually want to get another one just in case this one runs out. I really love this marker. Sometimes I've had trouble with markers, you know, the ink doesn't come out or it smudges. I've never had a smudge with this marker. I've looked for other ones, but this one just comes out so well. It just works extremely well. So that's kind of my fave thing right now. And I've got this other painting I'm going to discuss. It's called The Beautiful Dream. How I got this little painting started was I actually had some sewing pattern. My mom is a sewer. So I did snag some older patterns from her that she wasn't going to use anymore. I'm now running out, so I might send a plea out to people. I like them because they're thin, so they stick really well to canvas, anything. And they're really interesting. You can draw lines on them before you attach them to canvas, or draw anything on them before you attach them to canvas, and they're quite interesting. So that is this, and they already have lines on them, of course. So that's a bit of sewing pattern. That is a bit of cardboard, which of course you have to peel the one side off before you get that nice corrugated look. And how did I get it like that? So nice and shiny, shiny and metallic. Well, I found a product, which I'm gonna obviously have to do a separate video about, which is kind of a wax paste, which when I use cardboard, I tend to use that wax paste. I really like that. I have two of them. I have one that's a gold and one that's more of a, I guess you could say a bronze. The other thing I have back here is actually just like an old piece of paper that may have been like a homework page or something like that. And I punched some holes in it. That's super interesting. I also have quite a bit of thickened paint. I hope you can see that. That paint was thickened with modeling paste. I've got a lot of mark making with some Posca markers, some pencil. I like using pencil actually a lot. So just found materials, a couple of found materials. Once again, this little piece is it's just from a mailer, something that I had ordered, and it came in an interesting bubble mailer, and it was bright yellow, and I thought that was kind of cool. So it's stuck there. It's stuck there for good. It's not coming off. So it's really interesting. I love this little painting. It has so many details crammed into this tiny little 8x8 frame. It is so much fun. It has so much texture. And of course, I've got my heart on here, which is from my Posca marker. My red Posca marker, which I really, really like that one particular marker for hearts. I have a couple more for other things, but I really, really like that. So I'll give you one last close up there of all the texture that's on that. And, you know, there's imperfection there, which looks interesting. It really, really does. And I hope you enjoyed my little Monday morning chat. I'm going to be doing a Friday at 11 with, I haven't chosen the painting yet, but I will be choosing that to show you all the different things that I use on my canvases. And thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you have some ideas for what you would like to hear, I'd love to know about it. I really, really would. Thank you so much, and have a great Monday. Okay. Bye, everybody.